Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sports Betting Truth. And today we're going to talk about some disturbing trends we are seeing in sports betting. And it's a obvious sign that you are betting too much money. So there's a couple posts I saw on the crappy website known as Reddit that I probably could have seen somewhere else, but I saw them here and I want to talk about them. So the first one comes from user Rendering Minimalist, and he says, please don't do this. And it got 648 upvotes, which is a lot for the Sportsbook subreddit. And it's an article from ESPN that's titled Growing Concern. With the rise of legal sports betting, college athletes report receiving abusive social media messages from gamblers. And then we have the other post, which got a lot of upvotes as well from user Big X Blue, whatever. And it says Bradley Beal is under police investigation for battery after he was involved in a confrontation with some hecklers following a game last week. Beal allegedly knocked a fan's hat off after a fan yelled, "You effed me out of $1,300, you F." Beal believed the comment was disrespectful and told the fan, "Keep it a buck. I don't give a F about none of your bets or your parlays, bro. That's not why I play the game." All right, guys. If you get this upset about losing a bet, you're betting too much. You are betting too much. If you're practicing proper bankroll management and betting the right way, which is not betting a bunch of long shot parlays, which is not over betting your bankroll and trying to chase losses or get yourself rich off just one bet, then you're not going to get this upset when you lose a bet. Yeah, there's going to be some bad beats that happen. They happen, but if you only had like 1% of your bankroll staked on a game where you lost on a bad beat, it's not going to be enjoyable, but it's not going to make you that upset either. You're just going to move on to the next game. And that's the problem with these people who are getting this upset that they are threatening college athletes on social media, that they are getting into altercations with NBA players at games because they lost $1,300. You're betting too much money, or you're not betting the right way. Because, yeah, you can put $5 on like a 12-team parlay and win the first 11 bets and then have Bradley Beal lose you that 12th game. And you'll be mad, yeah, but you could have hedged, and you shouldn't be betting 12-team parlays in the first place. I mean, yeah, for entertainment purposes only, but losing those bets come from the territory. Whether you lose the first game of a 12-team parlay and it's over with before the fun even gets started, or you lose the last bet after winning the first 11 on a bad beat, losing a $5 12-team parlay is the same outcome either way. Yeah, it sucks, but losing those bets is to be expected. I mean, the odds of hitting a 12-team parlay are already astronomical to begin with, like 1 in 8,000, I think. So, I mean, come on. And then you have people that are overbetting your bankroll that are, what if that guy who lost $1,300, what if he bet $1,300 on a single game involving Bradley Beal, or bet some prop involving Bradley Beal for $1,300? I'm sorry, but if you're betting $1,300 on a single game, your bankroll better be at least $130,000. And if it was, yeah, losing $1,300 is going to suck. But if your bankroll is $130K, it's just going to be a 1% loss. Not that big of a deal. You shouldn't be that upset. So I see this a lot in betting communities and people who bet, is that they get so upset after losing a bet. And if that's happening, you're betting too much. You're not practicing proper bankroll management. You're not practicing proper betting strategy. Remember, the first commandment of sports betting, what is it? Thou shalt expect to lose. If you expect to lose, then you shouldn't be getting upset when you do lose. So not only are you betting too much money, you're not betting the right way, you're not practicing the first commandment of sports betting, which is thou shalt expect to lose. So I don't really have any sympathy for people who are getting this upset when they're losing bets. I don't. It's pathetic. I've never gotten that upset after losing a bet. I remember in 2012 college football season, I was at the Westgate. It was called the LVH at the time. And Baylor and Louisiana Monroe were playing a non-conference Friday night college football game in Monroe. And Louisiana Monroe scored a meaningless touchdown as time expired to cover. And I watched a guy go absolutely berserk. I mean, he was just destroying everything he could in the sports book until security came and tackled him and hauled him away. If you get that upset after losing a bet, you're not doing it right. You should not feel emotion when you lose a bet. If you're feeling, I mean, yeah, there's going to be disappointment. You might feel disappointment, but again, you should not feel emotions of anger or depression or anything like that after losing a bet. Disappointment at most, and then you move on. If it takes you more than 10 seconds to move on from a sports betting loss, you bet too much. Let's look at some of the comments. Doge buys Cybertrucks. A lot of little bitch boys in this sub. It's your money you lost. Deal with it. I agree. Trailrunner79, willing to bet the biggest offenders are those who lost their $2 parlay. Yep, exactly is what I said. D69, I feel like some people spend more time crafting and sending their abusive DM to a player's social media than when they do trying to research and make a pick when gambling, and then they wonder why their pick lost. I started laughing because what if they ran the gamut? What if they bought a pick from a tout and it lost, and then they sent an abusive DM to a player's social media? That's like the holy trinity of like total idiocy gambling. Bog Lobster, part of being a gambler is knowing how to take L's. These are crybabies, not gamblers. Yep. Stimulate should see some of the crap blackjack dealers have to deal with. That is true. You know how many times I've seen someone get really upset at someone at blackjack that doesn't make the right play? You know, like someone who, example, hits a 17 at a blackjack table, and then the other people at the table get really, really mad. What if I told you that the idiots at the blackjack table help you just as much as they hurt you? So say an idiot hits a 17 and he gets a queen and busts, and then the next guy who could have used that queen if he stood like on a double down loses because he gets a 2 instead of that queen he wanted, right? And he blames the guy who hit on the 17. But what if the guy hits on the 17 and got a 3 and it got 20 and stands down? Now the guy who doubled down with an 11 who could have got that 3, then a queen shows up and he hits 21, and now the idiot at the table helped him. In the long run, the idiots at the blackjack table help you more than they, just as much as you hurt you. It evens out 50-50. Don't get mad at them. You know, this user Butthole, I'm not going to say it all, but he says, I make bets and parlays and then don't even watch the games. I actually think that's a good way to go about sports betting, not watching the games. I mean, I don't bet on sports a lot anymore, but I would say 90 to 95% of the time I would not watch the games and just see how they did after the fact. That way, you know, you're not obsessing, you're not getting too emotionally involved, and you just see the final score and it is what it is. So if you lost on a bad beat or something like that, you're not going to know. If you lost because some player did something stupid, you're not going to know. You're just going to know if you won or lost, and that's it. User the Robert Barron says, with the rise of sports betting, I fear we're getting closer and closer to an athlete being seriously maimed or injured or worse from a disgruntled bettor. I've been thinking about that for a while now. Although Standard 414 says it's been legal in many countries for decades. But yeah, I mean, people get mad. People get mad and you never know what can happen. Anyway, that wraps it up for this post. Again, you should not be emotionally affected when you lose a bet. You should not be emotionally affected when you win a bet. Like if you win a bet and you're emotionally affected, unless it was like that 12-team parlay we were talking about earlier, you shouldn't be emotionally invested. I mean, like I said, if it takes you more than 10 seconds to get over a loss, you're betting too much. Stop betting too much, guys. That's the moral of this video. You shouldn't get angry. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video. Grift-free sports betting discussion here on Sports Betting Truth. No grifting, no touting. Just giving you the truth about sports betting right here on Sports Betting Truth. I will see you guys later.